Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Sophie, Jordan Collins, and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Sophie Jordan Collins.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable After Dark show. I'm your co-host, Sophie Jordan Collins, and today we have the QUANTUM5 team here, along with your host, Ted Ings.
Wow, so pretty dramatic opening there, everybody. So that kicks us off for the Avengers event, which is only 6 weeks away. We want to welcome Jean Ings and Gaia Cooper tonight, as well as the lovely Cheri Stephens, who's back with us as well, and Jordan Lewandowski, first time tonight on After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. So welcome, everybody. We're very grateful for all of you being here. First, Sophie, I want to thank our exclusive sponsor for tonight, BG Products, Partners Beyond Products. Thank you for sponsoring everything that we do here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Quick update on Sean Kingery. Last time we got together, on Wednesday night, Sean had just gone through open heart surgery. And Veronica, good evening. Tony, great to see you. We're very pleased to report that Sean is doing extremely well. Michelle McLean, thank you. And, I spoke to Sean earlier today. I understand he'll be leaving the hospital this week, and great recovery. He does not recommend having to go through that, Roger Conant. And but anyway, Sean is going to be fine, and appreciate you all. David Lucas, good evening. I got hats coming out to you as well. Jeremy Stevens, look forward to seeing you in North Carolina week after next, and appreciate all you do. And Coralie, thank you so much as well. So, Sophie, we are 6 weeks away from the big event, the Automotive Avengers. When is that coming up?
It's coming up November 13th through 16th. You guys do not want to miss this. You can get your complimentary tickets at fixedopsroundtable.com.
Yep. So we've got a great team here. We've got Ed Roberts. You see Sarah Van Tyne. Some of you may know Sarah from QUANTUM5. Tully Williams is here. And we are going to take everything, Tammy Ventura, back to the hours, the stolen hours, and how we can recover them, because the hours are so important in what we do in fixed operations. So with that, and Tony, I agree. Prayers for Sean, and Michelle, thank you so much for all that you do behind the scenes. And Sophie, you got some trivia coming up for us later tonight, right, on Avengers?
Yes, I do. We're going to have some superhero trivia, so get ready.
All right. Well, I see we got some superhero heroes tonight, Felicia. So, Cheri, welcome back. And for those of us who don't know, tell us a little bit about QUANTUM5 and what does QUANTUM5 do, and who is QUANTUM5?
I think I get that question more than just about any other about our company. But I'll tell you a little bit from my perspective, which is part of the reason why I am such a fan. The longer I work here, the more I'm involved with this company, the more I am just committed to the same cause. And one of the things that I think makes us so unique is it's not just a cookie cutter approach to how we work with customers and train dealers and their personnel to have those interactions. It's more about, unscripted, being able to, basically learn what people value, identify clues about people, learn their patterns and behavior. Something that I think this generation coming up in the automotive industry, has not learned as well is some critical thinking and being able to think on your feet in intense or difficult situations. So I think for me, that's one of my favorite things. We're not teaching them to say the same thing every time with every customer. And I think that's really the big thing that makes us, one of the things that makes us so unique. We also have some approaches that I think some of the other people on the call can speak to too. So it's basically like a trifecta of how we work with dealers. So we've got the community architects. We've got someone who works with leadership, who aids in creating this plan that's unique to what they need for their store. We've got the app, which is our technology piece. I'll let them speak to that, but one of the ways that makes that so unique and so cool is they're able to work with the app a little bit every day. And it's more than just answer questions. It's sort of a guided discovery of, I think of it like choose your own adventure. So, you're starting out with scenario-based learning, and you're deciding what path you're going to take. And that path will change based on your answer. And I think that's just so remarkable, because then that's sort of how it is in real life. You're working with your customers in the lane. Depending on what you say and how you say it and what you're doing, is you're going to get a different result. So I think that's so important for us to be, flexible that way.
Sure. I want to call out some friends in the chat tonight. I see Robert Migliaccio. I see Stephen Apicella, who's in there as well. Many others. Michelle, I know you're big fans of Gaia and Jean. And before we come to them, Cheri, is there some gamification involved with what Quantum5 is doing in the way that you deliver learning at the dealership level?
So we weave that in actually in a lot of different ways, not only at the app level, and the evolution of where we're going is even more exciting, which I'll leave that for some future interviews. But the way that we leverage it in the app, and the way that we work with them in the other facet, which is community management, which is sort of my area of specialty. And this is where we're working with the specific learners. So we sort of do this method where we've got group coaching sessions, and we'll gamify that, and we'll make it, it's very interactive. It's not just, hey, jump on a Zoom with us and listen while I go through a presentation. We're basically using this inductive method in order to teach them things. And I'll give you an example of what that really is. So it's basically like, instead of relying on a fixed script or rules you apply to everyone or every situation, you teach them how to observe and analyze their interactions, and then sort of pivot as you need to. And that is a lot of fun, because then you've got people of all experience levels that are on these calls with us. We've got veterans who, often have a wealth of knowledge to share, but certainly could learn some new tactics, right? And then we've got the new people who need guidance, and they need that support. And they really don't know what they're doing, so getting everybody together and just being able to, kind of like a setting like this, I always, come together with like-minded people in my industry, and there's almost never a time where I don't come away with something that I didn't know or think of before. And just creating that environment of learning, I think, is really important. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So with that, Gaia and Jean, tell us a little bit about what you do, Jean, at Quantum5, and how that all applies here.
Yeah, well, Gaia and I are both on the writing team for everything that comes to do with story for Quantum5. So, and here's Jordan, who's our wonderful head of story here.
Well, Jordan was waiting until you spoke, so
yes.
Go ahead now.
Who's coming in like the superhero that he is for our team, truly. Jordan's such a great leader. But yeah, a lot of the content that you'll see in the app is written by some of the folks that you'll see here today. And kind of like what Cheri said, we learned a lot about different methods from the automotive industry, but also a lot about empathizing with people and learning to understand people's motivations and where they're coming from. That way you can help them in a way that is a lot more personable too, because everybody's a little bit different. Everyone likes to do things a little bit differently, and being able to practice the ability of thinking on your feet and having those different interactions is a little bit of what we get into with our writing. So yeah, it's a great team that we've got here.
I like it. And Gaia, you're fairly new to the automotive world. Tell us some of the things that you do with Quantum5. And I see some friends of yours on here as well. I see Brendan O'Brien, who I think is part of the Quantum. I know he's part of the Quantum5. Welcome.
Huge fan.
And Veronica.
Veronica.
Gaia, tell us more what you do.
Yeah, I'm very new. This will be 6 months coming up now, but I'm mostly a scriptwriter. I also design some new things, but I think mostly what I do is take a story and the psychology behind the people that we'll be catering to, and just people that might come into a dealership, and try to use understanding and empathy to help them form a relationship together, which I think is a really important part of the building blocks that we use at Quantum, which I think is very cool, especially as someone who's so new to the industry. It makes it much easier for me to understand, and it makes it much more, I think, universal, which I think is important as well.
And don't let Gaia fool you. She has written some hilarious scripts that are just really good. I just can't wait till they roll out sometimes. So
thank you.
So Jordan, a lot of this falls under your umbrella. You're the head of story. So, you're wearing many hats there. Tell us how this all works out for you and, what you're working on.
Well, to be honest, I think I'm probably the luckiest guy that I know. I get to come to work with such a creative and hardworking and dedicated team every single day. I often tell them I don't feel like I've worked a day since I've started working here. It's just we all come in, we have fun, we work hard, we play hard. And the For You culture that we have at Quantum not only is something that we strive for to have within our studio, but we want that to show through in the content that we're creating. We take stories and real life situations from service drives into the sales floor, and we design experiences to help automotive professionals build relationships with their clients. I just want to touch on that word that Guy hit on as well, relationships. And that's really the foundation of everything that we're trying to do at Quantum is help connect customers to advocates and allow business to take place with everyone having a good experience at the end of this. I mean, people come into automotive. I just had my car serviced today, and it's like we always get a little bit grouchier when we have to deal with these things. And even working with this creative team has developed empathy within me and how I treat other automotive professionals. So it's really relationship is the word that keeps resonating with me. Relationships. And anytime that we want to be able to take experiences to design journeys and take all the content and create an experience that is full and educational and grounded within the Quantum 5 skills.
Exactly. And also, Brendan O'Brien, I think you're exactly right in your comments on the screen tonight. Cheri, so I hear a lot of common words. I hear relationship. I hear community. I hear dealership culture as being, paramount now in our industry. Tell us a little bit more about that and how that applies to what Quantum5 is doing out there in the market.
Well, I usually explain it like this. So all of those elements are really the foundation for the depth in which we teach on, because first you have to understand people and understand how to connect with people at a different level, and maybe even slow down and be observant, because it's sometimes really difficult. Anyone who's worked in a service department knows you're literally running from one task to the next, and to stop and think, let me pay attention to what they're saying and the nuance behind it, or, it's not as easy as, you would think. So giving people the tools and the insight to understand how people tick, and where I take that, that's sort of the first step. The next step, it's really important to me to make things very practical and not so ethereal. Everybody is different. And so you're constantly going to be learning some of those relationship and rapport building tactics that we're talking about and that we teach. But then there's sort of the art of persuasion that we learn, which sort of what clicks with different people. Like I said, sort of empowering them to think on their feet. I'll give you an example that I talk about oftentimes. So one thing that when I was first an advisor, before I manage any service department, I was okay. I struggled in selling fuel induction services. I remember that was the first thing that just boggled my mind. I couldn't wrap my head around it. And for me, I've learned that, you have to be able to sell something with conviction to really sell it. So I went to every tech in my shop and said, explain this to me in a way I can understand it. And eventually I got sort of this speech about me, right? And I say the same thing with every customer, and my sales did increase. However, some of the tactics that we teach are really just, for me, mind-blowing, and I wish I'd have learned and known these things before. So, I drive a Subaru WRX. And so if you tried to sell me a fuel induction service the typical way that I would normally sell it, I might talk about cleaning carbon off the valves and the intake, and it's going to improve my fuel economy, save me money, because we think everybody resonates with that. for me, that's not really the thing that toots my horn. It's the performance of my car. I love the way my car feels. So if you'd have known that that was sort of my hot button or my motivator, you would have been able to sell that to me in a way that, I find value in. In the absence of value, price is the objection. So it's very difficult to sell me something if I don't see the value in it, right? So.
All right, now Cheri, you've been in the automotive industry. You got a great career. I know you've been with a couple big name companies and retail. You're surrounded tonight by people on the screen, myself excluded, who are not automotive retail, worked many, many years in retail. For example, in the green room tonight, Jordan was telling us, that he's had a previous lifetime as a career in the film industry in Los Angeles. Jordan, can someone in that industry adapt and come over to automotive and make it work here and have a successful, career and help others in automotive?
I firmly believe so. I mean, it's several of the key factors: hard work, dedication, and relationships. I think those translate across from the film industry to the automotive industry.
Well, there's that relationship word again, Jordan, right? All right, now you've got a young team, okay? You've got Gaia and you've got Jean up here. What's it like working with those guys? You could tell us tonight, all right? No secrets here. What's it like, working with these folks, who are creative and they've got a lot of new ideas, and are you able to implement a lot of those into the QUANTUM5 methodology?
We're constantly looking to be innovative, and we turn to the likes of Jean and Gaia to lead us in that innovation. I'm only 34, but these kids help me understand my slang a little bit better. We try to work for ways to, just to connect all the way around. And it's been a pleasure to see what we've been able to do with such a small team, and excited about where we're going, and, innovation being our North Star.
Yep. Michelle McLean, you called out Jean about 1.5 years ago. And I think it was right after the May of the Fort event, and we were doing transitions. And Jean, you write a lot of creative stuff for Quantum. And Michelle said, you know what, give her a shot with some of the things that we're doing with the themes at the roundtable. Like, for example, the Avengers theme going on now. Jean, tell us about that and how all that relates to automotive, because people ask, what does this have to do with the car industry, right? What are all these things? Jordan's talking about relationships, and, how does that all translate into the real world?
That's a really good question. Honestly, I think everyone that I've come to speak to, either through Quantum or through my connection to the roundtable, has been so welcoming, such a great community of people that really care about what they do and the community that surrounds it. That even for someone like me or Gaia or Jordan that doesn't have like this grand history of being a part of the automotive industry, can still step in and feel welcomed and supported and learn a couple new things along the way. Like, why not have the automotive Avengers assemble? Like, if we can bring a little bit of fun, a little bit of light to this awesome community, we might as well do it, right? Bring that creativity together. I'm really glad to be a part of it, truly.
So, Sophie, you have a career in the film industry. You're in Los Angeles, and about a 1.5 weeks ago, you got to go up to Sacramento and spend the day with Tully Williams at the Nilo company. And I saw you under the car as a technician. You were doing tech videos. You were doing service advisor updates, Sophie. I know you haven't worked in a dealership. What was all that like for you, to do that for the day at the Nilo company?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot. What you guys do is absolutely incredible. There's so many different parts of being at a dealership like that I feel like you don't think about until you kind of see it all and see the back end of things. But yeah, it was very insightful, and I learned a lot both about the car parts, but also about the importance of talking to the customer, similar to what y'all do at Quantum5, and how important those relationships are, and talking to the person. Because what I was doing is actually filming videos to send to the people as they get their car serviced, telling them like, hey, this is what's going on with your car. And it makes it very personable having an actual human being with your car telling you that, as opposed to, you know, just calling the dealership and nobody picks up and stuff like that. My car is also being serviced right now, Jordan, and literally I called them today and nobody picked up. And I was like, man, I would have loved to get a personal video like what I was making. So yeah, it's just awesome what y'all are doing and how you're really bringing personality and fun to this industry.
And Sophie, you worked with Tully for the day, and I saw that he gave you a lot of scenarios, right? You know, the car's perfect, or maybe it's the tires, maybe it's the brakes, maybe it's a car with a lot of mileage, or the car is, you know, far from perfect. I won't be as colorful as Tully might be with that. You know, what was that like handling with all those scenarios? And again, being under the car as a tech, and again, working with the shop foreman. I saw some of those videos as well.
Yeah, so it was really interesting to try to find a way to say in a positive manner the negative things wrong with their cars, but still say them with love and light, because yes, these things are wrong, but also we're going to fix them for you. So it's kind of like finding the correct wording and the correct way to present it to the customer was really interesting.
Jordan, you're shaking your head. Is that something that you know, work with and come across there at Quantum as well?
Absolutely. I mean, we've realized that customers who are having issues or dealing with people in the service department side of the business are usually having the worst day that they've had in a long time. And so I think empathy in those situations go a long way. So it's like, I'll even use my example today. They came and valeted my car. I guess Ford's doing a new free pickup for oil changes. So they came and picked up my car today. But what they didn't tell me was, oh, we're not going to bring it back till tomorrow, and oh, this and oh, that. Oh, we raised the prices by $80. So my expectations weren't properly managed through that situation, which kind of caused me from going from, oh, I'm going to be without my car, to like, oh man, now it's escalating. And I took that and internalized that. I was like, how could we as a team have created a situation to train on how to deliver these situations better so that we can help other people understand that managing expectations is the key to the game.
Gene, when you first went to work for Quantum, did you have a vast knowledge of the automotive industry, or not so much?
Absolutely not. I'm sure my dad can attest to how many times I had to ask him every single question under the sun, especially like what Sophie was saying and Jordan was saying, that when customers aren't happy in the service industry or having to deal out this, you know, bad news about their vehicle in a polite and uplifting manner, it's hard. And especially starting out, like, I was like, I have no idea how to write that. So you remember how many questions I had to ask you about everything.
Jordan, I think she turned the corner, because a couple months later, I noticed the questions were fewer and fewer. And Jordan, now, she doesn't ask me any questions. I'm asking her the questions now, Jordan. So
me too, Ted. Me too. She's so far ahead of anything that we're doing. She is so much in the weeds that I need to go to her to figure out where we're going next. What are we doing? Kudos to you, Gene.
Thank you.
And Gene, when you go in with your car for service at that Subaru retailer, okay, I know where you go to get that done. Do you see opportunities there for them to improve what it is that they do?
Sure. Yeah, I think it depends. The last time that I went, I actually took Gaia with me because we were getting ready to move in together. So I was getting my car serviced before our big move-in day. And we went in, I was just there for an oil change, and there wasn't really any other conversation. There wasn't really any like managing of the expectations. They're just like, okay, you're here. That's it. You wait. We'll tell you when you're done. And I've been there a couple times prior where I'd spoken to a different service advisor that was a lot more personable, that told me all the details that they found and really actually went over the multi-point inspection with me. So it depends, you know, sometimes you'll go to the same place and you'll still experience a different type of level of service. So to answer your question, I mean, yeah, of course, there's always room for improvement, I'd say, but I also think it depends on the person that you're interacting with as well.
So Cheri, Jordan, Gaia, and Gene, are you ready for some trivia for Avengers tonight?
Let's do it.
We'll have the audience help us out. Sophie as well. I know you've been working on these questions with Michelle today. So audience, we've got our first night of Avengers games, and it begins tonight. So, Sophie, take it away.
Yep. And shout out to Michelle McLean for these beautiful graphics. They look awesome. Number 1, who was the first Marvel Avenger to quit the team? A, Iron Man, B, the Hulk, or C, Ant-Man?
All right. So if you're in the chat tonight, you can go ahead and put A, B, or C, multiple choice. A, Iron Man, B, the Hulk, C, Ant-Man. So, Gene, it's times like now that I wish I saw all those movies.
Well, this is a chance for you to catch up, Dad. So
I think I'm going to be catching up rapidly here over the next 6 weeks. So
that's great.
All right. Robert Miggs says A, Iron Man. Okay. Cheri, any thoughts?
Oh, I just don't know. I should know this. I'm going to go with the audience. So we'll just say A.
Tony says A. Michelle says, I got to watch the movies.
Gaia and I are landing on B, the Hulk.
You're saying the Hulk. Ooh.
Yeah.
Right.
I felt like that was my first instinct, but no.
Anybody else in the audience? Okay.
I'm also going to go B, the Hulk.
Yeah.
Jordan says Hulk.
There you go, Jordan. Let's go.
We got a split here. Some are saying A, some are saying B. The answer is B. The Hulk.
Oh, the Hulk.
Let's go.
All right. Robert Miggs, not so much. All right. Good job, guys. If you said B. All right. Next one.
The next question is, how many Infinity Stones are there? A, 7, B, 4, or C, 6?
I'm counting on my fingers here.
There's definitely 6.
Gotta agree, yeah.
Cheri seems really adamant about 6. I'm going to go C as well.
Reading Cheri, yeah, and Robert's saying C as well.
Tony Owens says drat. You guys are right. It is C6.
All right. All right. So, Michelle, I take it this is the glove and the stones that we've seen in the intro, and Michelle was telling me all about it last week. So, all right.
Question number 3. Who is Tony Stark's, aka Iron Man's, butler? A, Edwin Jarvis, B, Benson DuBois, or C, Alfred Pennyworth?
Jarvis.
There you go.
Yeah.
What do you say, Gene?
I gotta go Jarvis, but I'm sure our friend Jordan here might at least be interested in number C or letter C there. Like, wait,
no, I think Jarvis, right? Because that's who he talks to.
I just know you're a DC fan, so
it's nice to see him represented here on screen. Yeah.
Y'all are right. It's A.
Yes.
Edwin Jarvis. All right. So is anybody 100% on these yet, or?
Oh yeah, we are.
Oh, Jordan. Okay. Oh, and of course, I haven't heard much from Gaia. Guys, like kind of quiet through all this.
Question number 4. Which villain created Wonder Man to pose as a double agent and infiltrate the Avengers? A, Ultron, B, Baron Zemo, or C, Dr. Doom?
A? I don't know.
I'm gonna say Dr. Doom.
Yeah,
because I was gonna say Steve.
I was going to go Dr. Doom.
Cheri Stephens, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm gonna. That's too tough. I don't know. C.
Audience, okay. All right.
C.
Robert says B.
There.
Baron Zemo. Tony.
Actually, Robert's guess is correct.
Ooh.
And Tony Owens got it too.
Wow.
Tony. Yeah, Tony got
I guess
it.
we got some learning to do, huh?
All right. All right. One more tonight, guys. So pretty good so far.
And the final question. Which Avenger is known to frequently mutter, "Oh, my stars and garters"? A, Hawkeye, B, Beast, or C, Wonder Woman?
I feel like this one should be obvious, right? Right?
It's Wonder Woman, right?
We're gonna go with C. Wait.
Yeah.
No,
Wonder Woman's
No.
DC though, so I think it's Hawkeye.
no, it cannot be C.
I think it has to be
I
A.
almost got you.
It has to be something. It's got to be A. Yep, you're right. I don't know why I even thought C.
Gaia and Jean, what do you weigh in on this?
Robert Migliaccio said it that it's him, so I'm gonna go for the secret fourth option.
I do think it's Hawkeye though. I'm splitting the vote.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's got to be Hawkeye.
Any other guesses?
Need to know.
Yeah, it's the C.
Tony
I'm
says
with Hawkeye. A.
All right. So it's actually the lone letter. It's B, Beast.
Whoa.
whoa.
I didn't know Beast was in it.
Look at that. All right.
Yep, yep.
All right.
I guess we all need a little refresher on our Avengers movies, huh?
Yeah.
So Sophie going to help us out with that over the next couple weeks?
I am, yes.
All right. So,
True.
Sophie, where are we heading this week? You and I and Sarah Van Tyner are heading to a pop-up.
Yeah, we're heading to the Mitten, Michigan, Northwood University.
All right. And Northwood University, everybody, is going to host our Fixed Ops Roundtable pop-up event on Friday of this week. We're going to pre-record it and broadcast it next week. We're going to be up there with Sarah. We've got a lot of big interviews going on at Northwood. This is also going to be their 60th International Auto Show. And Northwood is expecting 25,000 people this weekend.
Wow.
In Midland, Michigan for the International Auto Show. And we are going to be there, and we're going to be with the students, with the alumni. And we got some great interviews coming up at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We're going to have a nice stage set up there, and we'll be broadcasting that. So looking forward to that. And then, of course, Sophie, the big Avengers event coming up in November.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's November 13th through 16th, and y'all can get your complimentary tickets at fixedopsroundtable.com.
By the way, I'll put this out to the audience. If there's a topic that you would like, that you're passionate about, that you want to make sure we discuss on the roundtable or want to be part of it, please reach out to me or Sophie on social media, and we'll make sure that we include you. But the time to do that is now. Don't wait until November, because we're putting all this together right now. It's a 4-day event, November 13th through the 16th, and it's the week before Thanksgiving, and we're going to have a lot to give thanks for that event, and a lot to learn about the Avengers apparently too. So, and Michelle has an idea. So, all right, cool. And Michelle, I understand we're going to change the voting on the best practices. So I'm looking forward to how we're going to do that as well. We're going to change it up a little bit. So, guys, I want to thank you all tonight for being here, Jean and Gaia, almost like regulars on the After Dark show now. So, Jordan, this is what Jean's dad does, okay? And great to have you finally, Jordan, right?
Ted, Mr. Jeans, thank you for having me. And it was great to be a part of this, and good luck on everything that you are all putting together.
Yeah. We're working with QUANTUM5 on a bunch of stuff. And Cheri, I got a chance to meet, of course, I know Dave O'Brien. I got a chance to meet Tony recently as well. So you got a great team.
Such a fan. I am a Tony fan. So I hope he's watching.
Big Tony fans over here. Big
Yeah.
Tony fans.
100%.
All right. So Tammy Ventura, thank you tonight. Best practice winner at our last event. And I'm counting on a picture, Tammy, once that award arrives. So great job at Hudson Automotive Group in South Carolina. Cheri, I know that Sarah's passionate about BDC. Tammy, who was just on the screen, leads a business development center. She has 50 BDC agents who work in that
Wow.
business development center, and she heads up.
Incredible.
BDC,
I know the folks at Hudson, so that's awesome.
Yeah, so a great
Very
group.
good.
And a great group at QUANTUM5. So thank you, and very grateful to Quantum for all you do. And Quantum is also a certified partner at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and we're very grateful to you for that as well. So on behalf of Sophie and Fixed Ops Roundtable and QUANTUM5, thank you everybody for being here tonight. We'll see you Wednesday night on the After Dark show, and we'll see you at the Big Avengers event as well.